I've got 3 wither skeleton skulls. You know what that means. Perfect. Now what do I do with the 3rd skull? G'day folks, it's Cortezerino, and we are on the circular road that I built last episode, and it turned out okay. Now, I said it was okay rather than perfect. So if you remember last episode, I've got this random pattern on my road here, but what it is a random pattern that's repeated over and over and over. And it looks pretty good up in that direction, but when we get over to here, suddenly the randomness aligns and I've got all these light sources in dead straight lines. So I'm going to have to tweak these edges a little bit because that looks a little bit strange. But I've got plenty of light sources. I'll just get rid of 1 or 2 of them and we should be good. But what are we doing this episode, guys? We are doing something huge. We're working on the tower, and you can see I've already started. I've continued these support pillars, so the ones that started all the way at the bottom here, I've continued that natural curve all the way to my iron farm up the top. Now, the reason I've done that is because on my creative world, like I've got the tower built, sort of. I'll have like 1 or 2 of these pillars built, and then nothing on the other side. It's basically, I get the idea in my creative world and then I come into survival and I build the entire thing. So I don't really have a tower in my creative world that I can experiment on. All I've got are these curved pillars, and they were just an indication to me about what kind of shape I wanted the tower to be. But I thought, well, I keep looking at these curved pillars in my creative world. I might as well just put them in the tower, and then that will help me like figure things out. Like if I figure something small out on creative, I can tell where it is in my tower by these support beams. And I think they look pretty good actually. But I've spent the last couple of days experimenting with the walls of the tower, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And you know what? After about 3 days of trying out different designs, I am no closer. I just don't know what to do. I really don't. I keep building a little bit of something and it might start to look good, but then I start running into redstone or I just don't like the look of it, to tell you the truth. So what I think I'm going to do is just start building in survival. I always build better in survival than I do in creative. And I think what I'm going to do is, you see I've got those white walls up the back. I'm just going to continue them straight up until I hit redstone, and that way I know what I've sort of got to do and what I've sort of got to cover up. See, this side's not too bad. It looks like, oh yeah, you've got all that room to build Cortez. That's fine. But then on the other side, my item sort of starts to get in the road. So I'm going to run into a ton of redstone. And I'm running as fast as I can, guys. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. See, here's the problem. I've got to make this side look kind of like that side of the tower. But yeah, I'm going to run into that item sorter in no time. And it leans out over my walkway. So yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. But what I'm going to do is just get started building. And we'll see what I come up with. So we're in the camera account, if you're wondering why I'm flying around here. But it's been another couple of days' work. Building in survival does take a lot longer. But I've finally figured out something that works on all sides. Now, it doesn't look like much, but I sort of had to force myself just to build simple so I could get this done. The problem with this is each side is so different because of redstone and the twirly walkway that's different on each side, that it was really tricky to get something that I could make look pretty much the same on each side, but still fit everything in. And here's an example of the problem. See, this twirly-whirly walkway, even though it may look like it's just a bit lower here, it's actually very different on this side as it is over here, because you can see the curve of the tower, it gets narrower as it gets higher. So this walkway actually comes in narrower as well, so it's a lot closer to the wall, and I had to design something that made the pillars still look freestanding. So if this wall was out a little bit further, it would just join into the sides of those pillars, and it would look like the pillars were just little lumps coming out of the side of the wall. But this way, they still look pretty freestanding, so it looks really good on that side, I think. And then the design's slightly different over here because I was playing with some windows, but we'll get back to that. And over here, pretty much the same design. I've changed the wall over here just to start covering up the redstone, but we are making progress. Now, the next thing, the windows. See, I had this idea for continuing the twirl, and so we'll come up a little bit higher. And you see I've got this dirt ring around the tower here. This is basically telling me don't come in any closer because you've got redstone in the way. You see the ring comes right up to the redstone. So I was trying to continue the twirl in the same shape as this ring. If we go above, you can see it's the same shape as that dirt ring, but we're getting higher and higher. But this part of the twirl wasn't going to be a walkway. I think this is as high as I'm going to go up. The twirl's going to start getting steeper, so steep that we won't be able to walk up it pretty soon. So I had the idea to change it into a bit of a ceiling, and I could bring in the granite textures that I'm using in the domes. So I wanted to make a sort of granite ceiling and continue the twirl with the granite. And so I thought, well, I'll put some big windows here and then we can have a bit of a ceiling on the top. And I wanted to stagger the windows so they're getting higher as we go along. And it was going to look really cool. And then I realized I can't do the third window. I was going to do a third window here, but if we shoot through to the other side, bang, we crash into the item sorter. So I'm back to the drawing board here. I can't put a window right there, so I'll have to come up with something else. Not sure what yet. But while I was playing around with the camera account, so basically I was building in survival and I had another window open with my camera account so I could look at what I was building as I was doing it. But I was taking a shortcut through the base and I came into this room here, my potato farm. Where's my villager? He's gone. And you know what? I'm not actually surprised because I have lost the villager in the carrot farm twice. This guy here, he's died on me twice. And I know why. He's not crushing himself to death or anything like that. It was a zombie. I heard the zombie in here once and I looked through one of these windows and there was a zombie in gold armor eating my villager. Now, zombies should not be able to spawn in here. It's either tilled earth or pressure plates. But, yep, I saw him, and like I thought, maybe he's the zombie spawned outside of the farm and he just glitched through the wall because there's been a lot of glitching. If we come down here, here's a villager inside of my glass item elevator. He shouldn't be there. But I am pretty sure that something is wrong with zombie spawning mechanics, and I think it's to do with... Do you remember the old zombie siege mechanic where if you had a big enough village, a whole bunch of zombies could spawn regardless of light levels and attack your villages, and that was called a zombie siege? That hasn't worked for a long, long time, but I think maybe an old remnant of the zombie siege mechanic is still functioning and causing zombies to spawn in here. See, last season I found two really suspicious scenarios of zombies spawning. One was at the Iron Titan. A zombie spawned on a bunch of hoppers, which shouldn't happen. And the other was at the gold farm. Now, the gold farm, you can have the zombie reinforcements. It's kind of like the zombie siege mechanic, but basically the pigmen call for regular zombie reinforcements. Anyway, I would get these regular zombies spawning on my redstone, which shouldn't happen. So behind all my storage chests, I kept getting regular zombies spawn in there. Never had a pigman spawn, so shouldn't have happened, but it did. So anyway, I have rambled for a long time. Basically, I've got to get another villager back into here And that's tricky because I've pretty much covered up all my ways of getting villagers out of my villager training hall. Oh gosh, I need to do some trading. That's bad. So I think what I want to do is try and get a farmer out of my iron farm up here, because I can get him out, drop him straight down there, and then just feed some of the guys in one of these little areas, and they will breed up again. But do I have a farmer? Do I have one? Oh no, don't tell me. The idea is, though, because they're surrounded in glass, I can just pop a boat next to them and they'll jump into the boat. I can feed the guys left over and then drop the boat straight down. I haven't got a farmer. What I might do, guys, is shut this iron farm down for a while. So basically kill most of the guys in one of these pockets, feed them, breed them up, and we'll see if we can get a dude. Guys, we are over here at the Colosseum. This thing is massive. It's built by Crafting Mantis. The detail is insane for a build this big. I mean, look at this. She's even gone to the trouble of putting these little poles in here. These are to stop birds landing and pooing all over the Colosseum. You'll see them on statues and stuff like that. But the reason I'm over here is because she wanted my banner for something. I think she's going to hang them around the Colosseum. So I'm just going to drop this off and we'll head back to base. There we go. The Cortezerino banner makes a fine addition to the banners here. Hey, I was actually able to take off for once. So we're going to head back to base, and it isn't far. We are so close to Mantis. I'm just over here. Let's let it load up so I don't crash into anything. Here we go. But yes, I'm bouncing around. The Cortezerino banner has given me a bit of an idea about what to do covering up this item sorter, because like I was playing with designs, and no matter what I did, this wall was going to have to pop out for no reason at all. I can't have a wide base because my twirly-whirly walkway's in the way down here. Boom. But yeah, to cover up the edge of that item sorter, the wall's going to have to come out for no reason, and it was going to look a bit silly. No matter what I tried, it was looking silly. But yes, the banner has given me a bit of an idea, so we are going to give the base a little touch of Cortez. Well, it's certainly looking better than a few of my experiments were looking. So we've got this little trapdoor down here. Basically, this is supposed to be a little window where someone can pop their head out and grab a hold of the rope, the iron bars of the rope, which controls the flag. Now, it's a step in the right direction, but it is far from complete because it doesn't look quite right, and I think that's because I've got this big dome right here. The flags would be whacking against it constantly, so I think the mistake I made is I got the flag coming out from the side. where I think I should have a little pillar above the flag and the flag's just draping straight down. It'll still wobble a little bit like this one is, but it'll mostly be dropping straight down, and I think that'll look a lot better. And that's a job for me to do between episodes, I think. But gee, that flag does look pretty good. It's a bit of a Cortezerino flag. We may be doing a few of them around the tower. I don't know, but yeah, I've got to change the flag, but that is definitely one step closer to being done. We are going to leave it here for the episode, guys. It might look like I've decided to do this big episode on we're going to build the tower, and I haven't done very much. Well, I spent so much time figuring stuff out, and I think I've got it all figured out now. So we've done a little bit, but we're going to progress really, really quickly now. So anyway, guys, we're going to leave it right here, because I've got a farmer to move. Hope you're not afraid of heights. Let's go! Whee! That didn't work.